right. Hello. What's up, folks? We're back. I was just saying that I know what number we're on now. We're episode 36, even though it doesn't really matter anymore because Apple doesn't like when we number them. We're 36, just for your records. We got another repeat guest here. Taylor Cacciola is back. Namra Consulting. Dun, 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 dun. I don't really know what that was, but
I liked it.
Little musical intro here. Our good friend Taylor is back. You may know him from episode something, maybe like 8 ago. He was here in January. And we talked social media and business and a lot of good clips out of that podcast that I think did really well. So we're here to talk some more.
Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Am I
coming
in the intro? Or should
No,
I-
you're
No,
always,
no.
you're always
All right,
welcome.
cool, thanks.
Always cut in.
Nobody wants to hear my voice for like the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm the guest, man.
Exactly. You're the big
You're here
shot.
for a reason.
Yeah. So I think one of the things we were thinking would be cool today is talk about like, as somebody who's very in on the social media and marketing, obviously that's what you do. Like, I'm curious, and I know Mike and I have talked about it too, but like, what sort of changes have you seen over the past 5 months that's been different from the normal day-to-day, like before that?
Yeah. So it's a really good question. And I think the surprising thing for me to see was the actual numbers that came out and things like that. Aside from TikTok blowing up, which kind of happened before all this. The real major shift is there's just more attention there,
Right.
and it's like we thought it was like, okay, people can't spend any more times in front of their phones.
Yeah, right.
50% of people,
You get
to
those
be precise,
screen- you
are
get those
spending more.
screen times
yeah,
up.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So that was like one of the numbers, basically 18 plus, about 50% of people in the U.S. spend more time on their phone now,
Than
and it's
they
like
used to.
pretty obvious. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
What else can you do?
Exactly.
What's your screen time?
I haven't checked it. I used to have I used to put a limiter. on
Limiter,
there.
yeah.
You did do the
Yeah,
limiter?
I did the
I never
limiter.
did the
Yeah.
limiter.
Well-
I was like, nah, I'll never be that bad.
Well, I have such a good excuse. Like, it's like, oh, I can't. It's my
It's
work.
work, man.
But that's there's a lot of scrolling
No,
and
you're
stuff like that.
scrolling on
so-
booties on Instagram.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I think mine's actually been fluctuating. Like, I've been actually surprised by like some weeks I get the notification and it was like, you were down 20%. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like pumped.
I only care about the in-app, like, because I am on my phone 24/7,
Right.
emails,
Yeah.
text, social stuff. But it's like, if I'm on Instagram for 5.5 hours,
yeah. That's
what
bad.
was I doing?
Right.
Yeah, come on, man. Come on. Yeah.
So
Maybe like 20 minutes of that is business.
Yeah, exactly. It was my belief, and I think it's kind of gonna kind of bear it out over time. But
Yeah.
we basically just like sped up the trajectory of where we're already going. Nothing novel or crazy happened.
Yeah.
We just cut learning curves, right? So
That's true.
basically, we're on the same path. Nothing new is really been invented. There are no
Right.
novel new ideas, but it's just like, 50% of people are spending more times on their phone.
Right.
64% of all retail business online is done on your phone. 60% of all searches is on your, like, it's just, everything is just kind of like getting an increase.
Yeah.
And I guess the real question now is like, do you see that fall off at some point? And I think it's just basically long term, it's cut the learning curve. And what I mean by that is, I think the best example is a platform like Zoom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So there's, you have your early adopters, you hit your critical mass, and then you have people who go on to a new technology or something falls off, typically.
Right.
For Zoom, the person who's 60 years old and who's about to retire soon was not supposed to, he was going to, be out of the workforce before someone forced him to make a Zoom call, But now that is cut. So those people, whether they come back in a year or whatever, they're going to be using it now. It's just now that's just part of the everyday workforce. That's part of the social media landscape.
Yeah.
And I think the same is going to be true for, financial planners holding, virtual webinars.
Yeah.
People taking, using Zillow more to find a home or whatever it is, and
Yeah,
looking
yeah.
at that 3D tours.
The virtual.
I look at those now just for fun.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to be buying a house anytime soon, but I look at those big ass houses.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, look at this one, 1.7 million.
Well, that's the thing, and it's like all that stuff is now happening. And
Well,
Yeah.
I think it's like you're saying, getting the content to them is going to stay the same. Maybe it's going to increase in how much you do.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think it's the content itself which needs to bend to the new consumer, kind of. Because you have the older crowd in there. You got to make it more simple, like straightforward. I see you putting out a lot of like social tips, social media tips, and I feel like that's helpful for anyone who's never used this platform before.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I remember watching one that was like, and I don't know if I exactly knew how to do it, but I generally knew how to do it. But you just basically were like how to ban someone from a Facebook page.
Right. Yeah.
And I was like, those are just like so
Do you know-
nice little like just great like not simple but like
Yeah.
practical tips,
Yeah.
like just little things.
That's what I'm all about.
Yeah.
I love that. And you know that video, I still get messages. Like one rolls in
Really?
every couple of days, like every couple of weeks or whatever it is, like
Yeah.
another random person saying like, hey, can you help me with this? There's like 20 comments on that video.
Because LinkedIn is that older audience.
Yep.
That is mostly the focus.
Yeah.
Or Facebook, which is,
Facebook's
has turned
aging.
into that.
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny. There's a lot of people on there asking like, can I ban someone from my husband's page or something? It's pretty funny, but that's what I think the most important thing is. User experience is everything. So if I can make someone's life a little bit easier or whatever, then that's me doing a good job, and I think everyone's going to be really focused on that.
Yeah.
There's always that. How do you find that fine line from this is the free content and the free tips, and this is what you have to pay for? Is there like a definitive line, or does it depend on what you're?
I will give anything away for free.
Yeah.
As my time's the most important thing to me, so I'm very careful with like how much time. But
Sure.
as long as I can give information that doesn't take up too much time, I'll tell. There's nothing that I have no secrets. I was in a business the other day where he owns a business. He just invested like literally $2 million in a new location, okay? And it's like 2 miles away.
Wow.
The guy moves locations.
Wow.
A competitor 2 miles away, moves into his old location. He doesn't know how to change the address on his Google My Business listing.
So everybody is like.
So the address, the phone
God.
number is good, but the address, it's like there's a lot of in-person stuff happening. So people,
Wow.
Dude, so
Did he lose a ton of business?
there were definitely people going to the wrong place and being like, oh, I'm here already, screw it. So,
Wow.
for something like that, where it's like, what am I going to hold this guy hostage to help him? No, I just like, you just tell him what to do and then help him out. So we fixed it. We got it all set up. I did spend a lot of time on that one because we had to like switch over. Like I was on
Good karma.
Was he
It
your
is.
client before,
Nope.
or did he become your client after?
Yeah,
So
now
there you
he's-
go.
Exactly.
And like for us, like maybe you spent a long time setting up the profile, but to change the address takes what? 2 minutes. So like
exactly. The issue is like help people solve the problem, and then like what am I going to charge you $50? No, it's like the value's through the roof.
Right.
So
Right,
it's like
now
I'm
he's a
just
client.
happy to do it, right?
Yeah.
And now he's a client, and
There you go.
It's a good testimony. We looked at the numbers like yesterday because it officially came on live. It takes like when you first claim a listing,
Right.
it takes a second for like the Google to catch up.
Yeah.
And 30 direct direction requests last month, 1,800 views on maps and stuff like that. So it's like that's
so he was
so-
taking a huge hit. Then
Oh yeah,
by
definitely.
having the wrong.
Definitely. Who knows?
Ooh.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
So,
insane.
yeah, it's good though.
See, it's good karma for you, and
Absolutely.
it turned into business.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
And I get to tell a
that's
cool story, so it's fun.
Yeah, that is a good story. I like that.
You got to get that video done by him. Make him do a
Yeah,
testimonial
that's
for you
it.
guys or
All right.
something.
Yeah. We're actually working on some stuff for that.
Yeah.
I think
Cool.
that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Have you guys done anything like that?
We actually did.
Testimonials.
We did one for a Pangea, the company Pangea. We did a
Testimonial
yoga
for them.
studio
Oh, yeah.
testimonial because they use that like service.
Nice.
So yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah, that
You
was the
guys
most
would probably
recent one.
benefit from Pangea, probably. Maybe.
Have
When
you
I said
guys?
I know what it is, I lied.
So
I was thinking,
it's
what is it?
basically it's an app that our buddy Adam created, and
sick.
you go onto the app, and it's all college students from all over the country,
I'm gonna pull it
and
up.
they're all 1099 contractors, and you can hire them for certain things, and you hire them off the site. Pangea handles all the 1099s, everything like that.
So
That's
you're
awesome.
like, oh, I need a kid who is good at
This is awesome. Okay.
bioengineering. Here's Yasmin
Wow.
from University of Maryland, and
That's
she can
awesome.
put her skills here, and her profile has like, she can put her portfolio or whatever. Then you can send her a message. Sometimes it'll say like she has a rate of $17 an hour.
Okay, so there's another one of these for like it's called Rent Sons, and they do it for like manual labor and stuff.
Oh,
like
yeah,
that
yeah,
too.
yeah. Rent Sons, yeah.
Same
Yep.
idea.
No free ads.
same
Sorry
idea.
about that. But no, I was thinking. I talked to my partner about like, wouldn't it be awesome if like you could do something similar for like just like, hey, can you fix
Make
my
me a
computer-
logo.
Make me a
or-
logo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fix a
Can
computer.
you like record a video for me? Can you show me how to do this? Can
Yeah.
you show me how to do that? You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
like the majority of the requests that I get business from, it's like, like how do I like clear up space on my Google Drive? And it's like, okay, I solved that problem. And it's like, oh man, can you help me with my marketing and stuff like that? So the entry point, you never know where it's
Yeah,
going to
that's
be.
funny.
Yeah. Have you guys expanded the team at all?
So we actually just brought in someone to do like help out with some editing and stuff like
Oh,
that.
there you
for our
go.
So
Good.
we did have we had a new account manager come in like the middle of the pandemic, which is the
geez.
worst time ever.
Yeah.
Especially for an account manager,
Yeah.
too.
Oh my God. Yeah. So, but we handled it. So that's good. She's doing awesome. And
Nice.
then we just brought in someone like basically full board to help
Jeez.
take some of that video editing and stuff.
And how did you find them? Was it just through a mutual connection, or did they reach out?
Yeah. So my partner Sahil, like how we're really big on like delegating tasks.
Yeah.
So Sahil handles all the onboarding and finding people and things like that. So we
Awesome.
put out some feelers and stuff.
Cool.
And it's going really well.
Fuck yeah.
That's great,
Yeah.
man.
How about
Good.
you?
You
How
guys are
about you guys?
expanding.
Yeah, we're trying to, man. How's everything going here? I know you brought on a new marketing person and
Good.
salesperson, right?
Yeah. So that's Max. If you're listening, Max, what's up?
Hey, Max.
So he handles like our marketing. He writes basically all our blogs now, but all of our sort of like marketing direction, helping with like, how we should produce videos and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, like
and-
scripts, branding, all that stuff.
Right. So
for
like,
clients and internally.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, like, for example, we were telling you the Providence Bagel thing. He basically, it was mostly him, but he pretty much wrote the whole script for that. And he was there on set, like, making sure the lines were read right and sort of, like, the direction was going the way he had envisioned it. So that was, like, really cool for us to have, like, a production where that happened. So that was cool.
Yeah.
Helped us a lot through our blogs throughout, like, March, April, May, and even still great writer. And we even we get like actual people, like friends of ours and people who are subscribed to the email list and shit like that, and they're like, hey, like, I've noticed you guys, like, your blogs are like really, really good, like your writing has like really increased in quality. And we're like, yeah, that's good.
That's
Good to
awesome.
hear.
Yeah.
So
Copywriting and stuff like that.
it's important.
It's so important. And
Yeah.
It's one of the hardest things to find.
Yeah.
I know I've talked to a lot of like website designers. They're always waiting on copy, and they don't have. There's not a lot of copywriters out there, So
Yeah,
that's
he's
really
good.
Yeah, so the tough thing too is, you can have a copywriter that, it specializes in web or specializes in blog writing, and that could be great, but that doesn't translate to video.
Correct.
So it's cool to kind of have Max like he's not, I don't know if this is going to sound bad. He's not fully there on the video side yet, but we're able to take a script and break it down with him and be like, these are the main points you want to hit. Here's how you can word it to make it sound like that. And I think slowly building him up on the video side too. He'll be
Kill
a
it. Yeah,
multi
but-
tool. Yeah.
Like, he's a marketing guy first, so he like meshes with us super well, because then he, like, we're video guys, so marketing has sort of been like always our back burner, and so now bringing in the marketing with the video, it just
But that's
is,
so
perfect.
like the fact that you even have to preface it by like, oh my God, this guy's not totally perfect. It's like, what do you mean? Like, no, you know what I mean?
Nobody's perfect.
We're the same
Right.
exact way. We started as just social media, digital marketing,
Yeah.
and then we got into the video game a little bit more. And it's
Yeah.
like, that's not a bad, like, that's very normal, I feel like.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Yeah,
that's
sure.
good.
And
That's
then we
awesome.
got-
You got to bring people in around you that like kind of raise the tide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we got Mike over there, who is
He's not there anymore.
he's not there anymore.
No.
I don't know where he went.
Another Mike.
Another Mike.
Another Mike.
He helps us with all the overflow editing and shooting. I shot a wedding with him this
Right on.
weekend. He's been a huge help.
He might be fired. I don't know where the fuck he is.
Yeah, I don't know where.
Overflow.
Yeah.
Damn kids.
Yeah, so that's awesome. So you guys staying
Yeah.
busy, able to. That's great,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
That's what's
Yeah.
been like your biggest source of like referrals through all this like COVID stuff, bringing in new business.
I would say that
It's all been like word of mouth.
Yeah,
and-
word of mouth, and it's been a lot of people seeing what we've done during COVID,
Yeah.
and be like, "Oh, can you do that for us too?"
Yeah.
Like I know we always bring it up, but the app stuff, like
Yeah.
showing app demonstrations, because everyone has an app now.
Yeah,
Right.
And we've
Seriously.
done multiple videos like that where it shows this is how you use the app. This
Mhm.
is the perks. So people see that and they're like, "Oh, can you do that for me? Can you do
Yeah.
that for me?"
Yeah,
And then I would say too, it's a lot of like businesses that have sort of not pivoted, but like adapted to the times, and then they're like, shit, we got to like promote the fact that we're adapting. So like, for example, Sophie's Brewhouse was one of our first clients. We designed their whole website, did all the photography for everything, their menus, all that. And they recently implemented online ordering and curbside pickup.
Yeah.
Because like everybody did.
Absolutely.
And so they didn't build like a full app, but they have like an online order where you go on, pay everything. So you just pull up, pick it up at the window and take off.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so we did not a video, but we basically helped design the online ordering, implement it into the actual website.
Yeah, we did their website.
That's
and
great.
then helped them with their Instagram to get it all straightened away on there.
Yeah.
And that's like what people need, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
that's it right there. Just
So it's
the
like
user
adapting
experience.
and getting creative with the times. Like
Yeah.
one client, we built an entire live streaming studio.
Yeah.
In their
Yeah, that
office.
was
Really?
another one. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
they
a
were
big
just
one.
like, here's a credit card, whatever you need to buy.
No way. That's a
Basically.
pretty interesting project.
So it was
Yeah.
fun because I was on B&H, like, I'll buy that. It was
I'm not
like,
gonna.
it wasn't for me, but
price it out. It's,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't have
yeah,
to
shop
double
and
check.
screen.
Just get what I need.
yeah, well, of course we checked with them to make sure it was
Yeah.
good, and they okayed it. But it was like, get the best of the best and make it
Right.
work.
That's
so
great.
that was fun too. So
Yeah.
I think it's just getting creative with this new like world we're in.
And
Yeah.
what's interesting is like that was like a big adaptation for them because they're essentially a chamber of commerce for the construction industry.
Yeah.
So have you ever heard of the AGC?
No.
So they're all over the world. It's Association of General Contractors.
Yeah.
And so it's basically, like I said, a chamber of commerce for construction. And so they're the AGC of Mass. So they handle all of Mass in New England. And they were just like, yeah, we're going to start doing a lot of like virtual learning now.
Yeah.
Like they've done learning events because they do that for people who are members of the AGC. But now where they can't have like in-person events and in-person trainings, they're like, we got to do this virtually. So now they need to produce videos, do live stream lessons, virtual classes, stuff like that. So yeah, so they came to us and we're like, we need to do like a virtual learning. How do we do this?
Yeah, that's so we did something similar with an association of realtors and like a local association. And basically we just were like, okay, what is the most minimally viable product we can put out? And it's like, okay, cell phone stand, lighting, microphone, here you go. So you can just get up and going. And this was like pre-COVID. We were telling them like, this is a value add to your realtors as well. Like they can come in here and use this stuff because,
Right.
you don't have to buy if you buy a $1,500 camera, they're not going to know how to use it. So it's like set it up so it's like a basic resource for them to put in their phone, clean their camera lens, take videos of themselves, and then if you ever want to stream video or go live, show them how to do that stuff. So what I didn't get to ball out and be in it, but we went on Amazon.
But
and
it's the
we
same
swapped
idea.
stuff
You're
out.
giving them you're giving them like a different viewpoint where they would never think about putting out content like that.
Yeah.
And I think that's where like, oh, these people have value or this company has value because they're not just looking for us to give them money for a project. They're trying to help us out.
Yeah, exactly.
One topic I'd think would be great, and this is good because we're a good balance here, is like we've had an office space since we started pretty much, and you guys have been totally remote since you started. Like
You got the underground lair in your house.
Exactly. In my mom's basement, just grinding.
so, I mean, obviously you guys were super set up for that. Everybody else is like screaming, like shit, we all gotta go home. You're like,
Yeah, it was.
We're good.
It was
We're
Bane,
good.
It was like the Bane scene in Batman. Like I was born in the dark. You adopted it.
oh, and then you put out the funniest fucking video.
Oh, the
where
COVID video?
You're like,
Yeah.
you had like the hazmat suit on. That shit was good.
I almost texted you guys. I was like, can I be a movie creator? Like directed, shot. Like I was getting the COVID crazies, man.
That was
Yeah.
good.
Glad you liked it.
Yeah, but talk a little bit about like how there was no transition, but like I guess like tell us your thoughts on like the whole remote versus in office and being remote, being forced to be remote. Has this changed your opinions at all, or like what do you think about the future of it now?
So from like I guess big picture, which is just me like pontificate, like I don't know anything, but like in my opinion, I think this basically whole situation brought out a lot of like weaknesses in people and basically said, showed them what they were, probably should have been doing already, so it's like, if you aren't set up to be able to work from home or whatever, like that, unfortunately, that's like gonna hurt those businesses and those people who were, really forward thinking in maybe their digital marketing so that they can reach people without having to get in-foot traffic or storefront traffic. Those people who were set up to have people be able to work from home or whatever. Same thing. It just cut the learning curve. So I think it's definitely here to stay in some places. And I think a lot of the businesses who made it through are gonna. I mean, I don't know, but I mean, you got to think a lot of these businesses who are still having full staffed employees, everyone's still getting the job done, and their like workspace is empty, and they're paying rent still. And it's like, well, do I even need what do I need?
Why am I paying $10,000 a month for this office space?
Exactly.
It's like, who was it? Twitter, right? Is everyone's working remote?
Twitter, Google.
Well,
somebody.
CVS.
What's another big one?
CVS up the street.
Really?
From home.
And they have a huge headquarters. Where's that? Cumberland or
Cumberland or Woonsocket.
Yeah, and they're all. I mean, haven't missed a beat.
The guys. So there's a company. There was a company below us, a little bit bigger space than our whole thing. So we're probably like 22. They're maybe like 3,000 square feet total. They have like a team of like 20 total. Really, only 7 or 8 in the office at a time. But they just moved out because everybody had to go home. And then the guy, he was just like, we've kind of been doing this and only a couple people come into the office. Like, I don't need this.
Yeah.
And so they just cut their lease and now they're gone and now they're all fully remote.
Yeah. It's going to I wonder if there's going to be like the advent of just like co-working space, because that's really what it is. It's like, you don't want to do it if you have to do it.
Right.
Like if you have to go to the office every day, you don't want to go.
Right.
But like
if you have to work from home every day, you don't want to do it. Because you know what's
That's
so
a great
funny?
point. That's a really good
You know
point.
what's so funny is like during April, like end of April, I was ready to like jump out a window. I was like, get me the fuck out of this house. Like I need to get out of here.
You can only play so many rounds of Call of Duty before
Exactly.
you go crazy.
procrastinating work. Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, when is working? When am I not working? I'm always working, but I'm always not working. I could always take a break. Like nobody is waiting for an email from me. Like,
Exactly.
It doesn't matter.
And even like it goes like, I used to have all my meetings like out in coffee shops or whatever. And I used to be like, God damn it, I have to go drive again 40 minutes, 30 minutes, driving all day. And now I'm like, can we please go meet and get a coffee? Like coming out here today, you know? So it's just like, it's like that oppositional like defiance.
Now sometimes like lately I'm like, I wouldn't mind working from home like once, every once in a while. But I was ready to kill myself when I was at home.
Yeah. I mean, even when I was at home, like I live by myself. So like you're sitting there for like a week or two. You're just like, all right. And then like you come back in here, or like me and Mike and I, get my grammar right. We would, FaceTime every day. And like, I think the first 45 minutes would be us just bullshitting.
Yeah.
Because it's like, hey, it's so nice to see another person and actually interact.
That's something we've incorporated as well, where it's like mandatory like happy hours like together. Or just like, hey, dude, do you want to like jump on Zoom and like just be on the screen? Like it will just work simultaneously. It's kind of weird, but it's like, it's better than.
Did you do that before COVID, or was that?
No, this was after.
Because
we used to be able to like go outside or whatever.
Right.
It's a little different now.
The amount of like virtual game sessions we would do with like Monica's cousins and stuff. We'd go on Twitch and you can stream like your Jackbox to Twitch and you all can play games from different areas. Yeah. But then we would all also like, we'd have to have like 7 things going, because we'd have like Monica's laptop would have this game up, and then I would have my laptop up that would have the Zoom or the FaceTime running with all of us in it. And then you had to play the game from your phone. Yeah. So it was like everybody was all sort of talking on this screen, but you had to mute this one because if you didn't, it would get feedback. And like
funny.
The amount of, it was crazy. Yeah. Crazy times.
I mean, it seems like everything's slowly getting back together and back rolling. I'd be curious to see, who the changes that are made permanently after this period too. I think that's going to be the
winners
big change.
and losers of COVID type thing.
Well, not even just like how the new way of making content
and doing business.
Yeah, like going on set. Do we have to have smaller crews now? Do we have to, plan out the whole day differently? So there's different people in different sections, different areas at different times. Like, I don't know. It's
going to be weird.
Yeah.
It's going to be weird to see
weird.
what the new, and I know like the new normal or whatever, but it will be interesting to see and how long does that last and stuff. But you got to just try. In my opinion, I try and stay super positive about it, because I think
it's all you can do.
There's no use in being negative. So why not just try and be positive, and I realize that there's tons of, I guess, second wave or like the echoes of this thing that might hurt in general later. But it's like, well, I guess we can learn from the good stuff, right? Staying positive. And it's like, okay, well, now my 55-year-old, uncle or grandfather knows how to use Zoom for work. And it's like, okay, this is a new tool in our tool belt. And maybe a company like us who's super local, at least we have a little bit more of a footing like virtually. So it's more comfortable for everyone to work remotely or virtually.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so you got to take the positives out of it, because who knows, you know, one really big positive could, you know, offset stuff long term. You don't know. So.
Yeah. Have you been on set post COVID, and what are your thoughts on that?
It's a person by person basis very strongly, where it's like, you know, some people feel very strongly one way, some people feel very strongly the other way. So we just basically take our own precautions and stuff like that if people are comfortable. And it hasn't been too weird, to be honest with you.
Right,
I think like even like us, like I don't know if that was, but like dapped you guys up when I came in here, and I think there's still like that natural interperson connection.
Sometimes too, you're like,
and it's, for me, the hesitation is like, not for me. It's like, oh, am I going to like make this person feel uncomfortable? And I think that's like pretty much true across the board for most people our age, where it's I'm courteous. So it's like, oh, I just reached out to like dap him up, and does he care? And he doesn't, you know, or something like that. So
I don't care.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the dap up.
Yeah, absolutely. I want a hug, man. I've been in my one bedroom apartment for too long. Yeah, seriously.
Like, it was funny, like a couple weeks after me and Monica got engaged, like my friends all were like, oh, let's go out and celebrate. Like, let's go grab dinner. And so they were already there when we got there. So we just kind of sat down. But that was like one of the first times we had went out after everything. And, you know, the server was like mask, face shield, everything. And so like we could barely hear her. So like that was interesting. And then after dinner, I was like, hey, if you guys want to like come by and we can just like have a couple drinks in the living room. And they were like, all right, yeah, sure. And so they did. They went to leave, and they were just like, I need a hug. Like, it's good to see you. Like, if I'm sick in 2 weeks, like, I'll kill you. But let's just get a hug.
I had a few clients who were just like, I just need a hug. Come here. It's like, good to see you. It's good to see you. That's a human part of it.
And the thing is, I mean, not to keep ragging on the COVID, but nobody knows anything about it.
I know. Like, it's so like back and forth.
And I think that's another reason why you got to stay positive the whole time, is because nobody knows shit.
There's so many unknowns.
Correct. Yeah. To bring it full. So it seems like almost counterintuitive. Like, you want to overthink stuff, but in my opinion, in business, like you really cannot overthink that stuff. It's going to make you miserable personally and professionally. So same thing, to bring it back to social, the TikTok hearings and like the Facebook stuff.
Crazy.
And that everyone's like, what do you think? What do you think? It's like, I have no idea. No one knows, you know? And it's very similar, where it's like, okay, I'm focusing more on the fact that like Facebook maybe released some new features last week than like what is, you know, Apple doing with our information or whatever. We don't know what's going to happen.
I just assume they have everything.
It's probably safe to say. Yeah, you know, so that's...
I saw the funniest joke. Sorry to cut you off.
No, you didn't.
There's I guess like there's people who think Bill Gates is trying to put a chip in us with the vaccine. Okay. And so people are like, oh, you don't want to get a vaccine from Bill Gates, but you'll buy a chip off of Steve Jobs for $1,000.
Yeah, that's more true than we probably.
That's actually true.
Yeah, because you think about it, like, when does this ever leave your body?
Yeah.
Except when you sleep, it's a foot away from you.
We just looked at the hours of, we all looked on our phones.
Yeah, like, exactly.
I was saying this the other day. There's a stat out there, and I don't know it off the top of my head, but you have a biological reaction if your phone's more than an arm's length away from you. Like the people who are addicted to their phones, which is like 90% of us. Yeah. You have a biological reaction if it's more than an arm's length away. And I think it's like people are an arm's length away less than like maybe like 2 hours a day or something like that. It's pretty crazy.
I mean, even look at it right now. We all have our phones on the table within arm reach.
Like, correct. And it's like,
it's like a comfort thing. It's like the psychological stuff you don't think of.
Well, it really is and not to go like too woo woo, but it's an extension of you, you know? So that's where it's an extension of like, if you don't know something, if your brain doesn't know something, you ask it. You know?
True. Like Gary Vee, I remember he made this one joke one time in one of his videos. He's like, I would rather have somebody come up to me, punch me in the face and steal my wallet than come up and steal my phone.
Yeah. It's
and
so
I'm
true.
like, yeah.
Correct.
Kinda. I kind of agree.
Totally.
It's crazy.
Speaking of, you mentioned TikTok real quick. Have you had any experience, and we haven't really touched it too much, but marketing on TikTok for clients? Have you done anything like that?
No.
And
no.
do you think it's a platform that could like you could use it for that, or is it more of like here's a kid's generation kind of thing?
No, absolutely. So don't do that. Is like the worst thing that will be a mistake where people will inevitably say, oh, it's just a kid's toy or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
Now it's in like, if you look at like the life cycle of these social media companies, and again, just one man's opinion, I could be totally wrong, but
Disclaimer.
Yeah, disclaimer. I don't know shit, but no, they build up and they get attention. That's what's valuable about these companies. That's what's valuable about these news companies, like a blog company, like a Barstool Sports.
Yeah.
They have attention. That is the currency
Yeah.
in the very beginning. Okay. They have billions and billions and billions of active users every day.
Billions and
Yeah,
billions.
exactly. So just like they might not have right now a functional way for businesses to use them. They have the most important thing, and that's eyeballs. Okay,
Right.
that is the most important thing. You can monetize stuff elsewhere.
Right.
Companies like Twitter might have a harder time than Instagram or Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay, but that doesn't really matter. People don't realize, like in China, TikTok, you can sell e-com on TikTok.
On TikTok?
On TikTok, yes, and
Wow.
I think it's in the
Similar to like the shopping integration in Instagram?
yes, exactly.
So are they running ads on TikTok and there and stuff?
Yeah, and like it's just like very similar to Instagram. So
Yeah.
I think it was in 2020, TikTok was number of dollars run through the account. They're in like the top 5, and everyone doesn't even think that you can make any money on it. It's like no. They're right now in the United States. It's just the influencers are building up. There's
Right.
going to be attention, and then those people are getting paid, and then those people who for whatever reason were able to build up a TikTok account and build up the presence, then it starts seeing functional returns later. So if you're a landscaper or something like
Yeah.
that, I wouldn't be on TikTok.
Yeah.
I don't see the functionality there.
Right.
But just as like theoretically, it's wait it out and see.
Like I'm just
Yeah.
thinking, I can't remember his name, but the mortgage guy that sings all the stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I think he would kill it on TikTok.
Garrett Duffy.
Guy.
Yeah, like I
That's my
think
guy.
he would be.
Yeah.
He'd be an awesome TikTok.
I got him on. Yeah, he's on TikTok.
He
oh
is?
yeah,
You got him?
oh yeah. Me and him used to talk about it, and he started repurposing his videos on there and things like that.
Yeah.
But he's such a great case study of like how to like get over a hurdle. He used to be at Washington Trust and did not want to do social media. And Garrett's my boy. What's up, Garrett? Love you. The best.
They will help you figure out how much you can spend.
Copyright violation.
right.
No,
We got 30 seconds.
So he actually has. So he was at Washington Trust,
Right.
super conservative bank, and he just didn't really see the value of putting out social media content. Like he didn't see it as a super big opportunity. And Washington Trust is a great company, but as soon as he left there, and once he started ramping up his own marketing and things like that, you start seeing it take off a little bit, and he really bought into it. And he's as good as anyone on social media. And
great.
what he did was he leveraged something that was a competitive advantage for him.
Right.
He has like 1 million plays on Spotify. You know that? He used to be in a
What?
band. Yeah, he was like legit.
So he okay.
So
okay.
that's
So-
he knows how to do this. He knows how to
Right.
produce stuff. He knows how to play the harmonica and
Yeah,
sing
yeah, yeah.
and
He's
the
pretty good. He's good at the
Yeah,
harmonica.
so that was like
It's not just some random person doing it for fun.
No,
it's
it's-
planned and yeah.
yeah. So it's like I tell people that all the time. Like, what makes you different? And don't
Yeah.
just say we have the best customer service
Yeah.
because everyone does. Okay, it's actually if you're figuring out a marketing strategy,
Right.
what makes you different?
Yeah.
For Garrett,
He's a musician.
shake his ass. Yeah.
Well, not to mention like Charlie D'Amelio, Dunkin' Donuts pays her like a shitload of money because all she drinks on her TikToks is Dunkin' Donuts iced coffee.
Really?
And sometimes it's just like as simple as it's in the thing.
Correct.
Other times she's like, "Oh, here's my Dunkin' for the day."
But so that's
like
such
this
a
is
good
how I
buy.
make it.
That is such a good buy.
Because do you think how many 17, 18-year-old girls and boys that are watching Charlie and be like, I want to be like
Well,
Charlie,
because you know what killed
and then go and buy Dunkin'.
Because if she said Dunkin's lame, I only drink Starbucks. If you drink Dunkin, you're a loser. Do you know how like that is?
Dunkin' stock.
done. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
If they see her drinking Dunkin, it's permission to go. Do you want Starbucks or Dunkin? Dunkin's closer. Okay, I'll go to Dunkin.
Right.
They might not
Yeah.
like it better, but it's like almost
Charlie drinks
social
it.
proof that it's okay to be seen in and that's that demo.
Yeah.
But to go back to your point. I have had this conversation a few times lately, especially when people are talking about running paid ads. They're like, well, my target demo is like first-time homebuyers or 20 to 25 or just a younger demo, they're not on Facebook. And it's like, no. Yes, they are. There's like billions of people on Facebook. There are some 25. I'm on. There are some young people on Facebook. When you talk about building like an organic content strategy, if you're going to be selling luxury homes on Snapchat, maybe that might be tough. If like you're just posting daily content about that, because there's no, super young demo who's just out there buying luxury homes all the time, right? So
unless you're a TikTok star,
exactly. Unless you're Charlie D'Amelio,
it might
you
be
have
smart.
a lot of money.
Yeah. So that's where I like to think about. It's like, okay, TikTok has billions of people on it. There's these different funnels you can get sucked into where it's like, here's like the old person TikTok and here's the young person TikTok. So I always try to stay away from, if you are marketing towards younger people or older people, you can't be here or there. It's like that can give you a really good ballpark of where to get started, what to post for like an organic strategy, but it does not mean that there's just no one there that can possibly be your end user.
Right. Have you guys, you've always been remote, so maybe this will be a no, but throughout March, April, May, whatever, did you guys discover any new tools to get more work done or be more productive that you weren't using in the past or anything like that?
It's a good question.
Or do you have any insights or tips on tools and stuff that...
Well, I think everyone found out like Zoom's pretty damn good. You know, like you can do that cut a lot of travel.
Some people just found out what Zoom was.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Zoom.
Virtual calls really helped out a lot. I'm trying to think any specific thing in particular. I'm sure I'm going to think of something later.
Yeah.
And I'll let you know.
That's how it always works, right?
Yeah, exactly. Off the top of my head, I'm trying to think. Nothing really. Yeah, no.
Like any new like platforms or anything like that, like CRMs or...
I think really the biggest... Google My Business is one platform we strongly focus on for our clients, is like organic SEO and content marketing.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, Google like has their own social media platform. There's no more Google Plus.
Yeah.
Are you guys familiar with Google My Business?
Yeah.
Okay, so essentially if you type in restaurant near me on your phone and then you can hit directions, website, that's Google My Business.
Right.
That is a platform you can say what we were talking about earlier with the guy who owned the company.
Right.
Okay. If you don't have that optimized right now and you're a restaurant, you're closed, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like that is where, and they kept up. There was COVID updates. They started, Google did a lot of things to help small businesses.
Yeah, they had the green check mark for like curbside pickup or delivery and
dine-in.
Yes,
takeout.
exactly. So like for us, it was lucky because a lot of our clients, we were already managing that, so we could make these changes on the fly.
Do you guys have any restaurant clients?
We have a few.
Cool.
We have a few in Massachusetts.
So you had some difficult work.
We had some real difficult work to do. We sent out a lot of COVID updates and stuff like that.
And I'm sure a lot of stressed out clients too.
Oh yeah. Yep.
I think every industry, and I've said this probably on all of our things, but like every industry got hit pretty hard. I think restaurants is probably like top, like they got hit the hardest for sure. And they're still getting hit. And this is another thing I always say, like restaurants already, they run on such a small profit margin, like 5 to 10%.
Yeah.
So now they can only have 25% capacity or 50% capacity.
Yeah.
And they can only do takeout, or they can only do curbside pickup or whatever. And so like that just hurts them even more, but they still have to bring staff back. And like, how do they do that? And then they have to buy all this PPE and they got to buy all this other stuff and signs and all that shit.
It's
like,
huge
stuff.
Yeah. I think it's on like a macroeconomic scale, it's the biggest industry in like private business, like restaurants. It accounts for the most, aside from like some of, I think it's like one of the government agencies has a lot.
Oh, wow.
But it's the biggest. So I think they were hit very, very hard. The only caveat I'd put to that is like because you can order curbside pickup and stuff like that, but like those small mom and pop retail stores, like God, if you owned a small candle shop, like God, oh man, and you don't have an e-commerce website or something like that, that's a game changer, you know, or
I guess
total killer.
Travel was probably up there too.
Travel was pretty
but
bad.
the travel is all like
Have you guys
Royal
been on any
Caribbean, American Airlines, like they'll recover, I think.
Yeah, but same thing, they operate on really thin margins too.
Do they?
Yeah,
I didn't
really
know
thin
that.
margins.
No, I haven't flown since January when I was in Florida. You flew in March.
I was in March when everything was
Like
shut
right
down.
before
I was
everything.
in Miami,
Yeah.
and then I'm supposed to go to South Carolina in 2 weeks.
Oh, really?
So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be nice.
One of our friends came from Florida a couple weeks ago. She got tested before and she was negative. Like 2 days before she left, she got tested. She was negative. Flew here. She's fine. But I found out it's not actually required they don't check that you got tested at the airplane at the airport.
So my
which I thought they
brother,
did.
I was actually talking to him when I went to go get lunch.
Oh, okay.
He's been flying all over for work. He stopped for a little bit, and I think this was his 3rd trip since COVID. He flew down to Pennsylvania, said he flew back in, got to the airport, got off the plane. There was a National Guard guy there, went to go hand him a pamphlet. And my brother just like, nah, I don't need it, and kept walking. And the guy was like, all right.
Yeah,
And that was it. Like, there was no...
It's America,
like,
America, man. It's free. Yeah, they
Yeah.
can't enforce much. I went to Oregon.
Oh,
I went
yeah, you just got back.
Yeah.
Did you get tested,
a couple
like,
weeks ago.
before or after,
Yeah, I got
just to
tested
be safe and stuff?
Yeah, definitely. That was, like, my number one priority for, like, my clients and stuff.
Especially
Yeah.
if you're seeing
Your
a
yeah.
newborn baby as well. You want to make
Oh,
sure
yeah.
that...
I was super careful because that's really
Everybody
my-
say congratulations to Taylor. He's an
Thank you.
uncle now.
Thank you, Uncle T.
Everybody's saying congrats in their car.
Yeah. Congrats to me. My sister had a child, but congrats to
That's
me.
cool.
Yeah. So
Congrats to her, too.
yeah, right. But no, yeah, it was. There was no one checking. You know, when I came.
What
home.
did you get tested before you left or when you got there?
I got tested right before I left, and
Yeah.
then right when I got home.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So. Because that's the best you can do.
The test is
Yeah.
weird, right?
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah.
Shit
One of
up
them
the
was like
nose.
brutal at the
Yeah.
CVS
Don't they
self-test.
go like fucking all the way up into your head?
So this one you don't have to go all the way
Yeah.
up to like your
Touching
brain
your brain.
membrane. Yeah, your pineal
Just a
gland
couple
or
inches,
whatever it is.
just a couple
yeah.
inches in.
Yeah, no, that one, but it kind of hurt. It was like a pointy Q-tip. I didn't like
Yeah.
it. And then I got tested when I came home, and that was like the rapid one. So I got tested on Saturday, and then had the results by Tuesday or something, or Monday then Tuesday. And that one was fine. Didn't hurt.
Yeah.
Wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
Did you have to pay for the rapid one?
Yeah, I did.
It's
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah.
I got tested because I was with a friend a couple weeks ago, and he texted me like 2 days later. He's like, "Yo, my mom just tested positive." He's like, "I haven't seen her in a week, but I thought it'd be like just safe to let you know." And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And so I got tested. I was negative. He got tested and he was positive. Sucks.
Isn't
He's
that
okay though. He
so
doesn't.
weird?
I was texting him literally last night, and I was like, "How are you feeling?" He's like, "Dude, I'm legit fine."
Fine. That's good.
He's like, "Nothing." He's like, even my mom, like, I guess his mom had symptoms for like 2 days, and then
Good.
she was fine.
Thank God.
But yeah, so I got the test, and I had to pay the fucking $160.
yeah,
It's
mine was
expensive.
like 50, and then I'm waiting on another bill, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll come.
So now that, you've done all the stuff you've done in the past and you've sort of adapted with your clients over the past like couple months, like what are your sort of predictions or thoughts on the future and like where social media is going, stuff your clients will do, just kind of like thoughts on the future?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one major thing is, and I'm not saying this just because it's us, but like video content,
Shout out.
starting to pick up, man. Like we do some data, like monthly content marketing stuff,
Yeah.
or video marketing stuff, and like more and more people are like, I got to do this. I got to do
Yeah.
this. I got to do this because if God forbid you get your legs cut out from under you with a global pandemic again,
Right.
this is your insurance blanket. It is your safety blanket. So it's what we started our business on was
Yeah.
better content, better results. Everyone can say, I guarantee you this many leads for our ads, or I guarantee this or that, or you'll rank first. It's put out better content, have a better marketing strategy, put out better videos, provide more value to your audience, and you will do better long term. And that conversation has never resonated with more people than right now. Yeah. I mean, just in my own personal experience, people get it now where they're like, okay, I think they always knew that's what the answer was, but maybe they were just like, I just want leads. I just want this. Where it's like, oh, no. Everyone's in front of their phone right now, hanging out at home.
Right.
If you're not taking this seriously to try and develop a brand, an audience of people who care about you,
Right.
your long-term success is not in the cards.
Yeah.
And I think, like you're saying, the environment catered to that.
Yeah.
It was like, all right, now, and Mike, you said it earlier, people were caught dead. Like, I have no content.
Right.
My business is just there, but I can't even go to it.
Right.
And now if you have stuff that you can dish out,
Yeah.
you can keep your company visible without actually people going to your store
Yeah.
Right.
or going to wherever.
And
I think
we
that's
talked
big.
about it on the sort of like virtual podcast sort of episode we did with Joe Kelly back in April, where I think he made a really good point, and him and I both kind of went back and forth about it. Was like Joe's point was like this sort of period is forcing people to just like be brave and like try new things, which is definitely true. But like a point I was saying was like, I can't even tell you like all these like CEOs and executives that are just like, hi, like coming to you, I'm here at my home office. Like our company is doing great right now. Like if you still like, just the amount of people that just picked up their phone and talked to the camera and put that out on like LinkedIn and shit.
Yeah.
Like exponential.
Yeah. It's
Whereas
crazy.
like
It
8
does-
months ago, that would never happen.
Never.
It takes a lot to do as well. Like talking to your phone, being like, "Hey guys," like you're talking to your phone. You're not talking to people.
Yep.
You know, that's hard to kind of get over. So to be brave and to take that extra step,
Cold water. Just jump right.
go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly. You just got to go in and do it. And I think having guidance like you guys to kind of like help guide companies in the right direction, so that image is correct. You know, that's big
Right.
to have.
Yeah, I appreciate it, and it's same with you guys. Yeah, it's people need guidance. They need a little push, but like once they get through that hurdle and they see it work, it's just like I said, cutting the learning curve. I think a lot of people are making that leap, and I think it could help them out long term.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, even the client we were talking about earlier, who is like sort of traditionally like an older school style of marketing, and they do all this learning, and now they're like, well, we can't have any in-person classes and stuff. Got to make them videos. We got to do virtual. We got to make videos of them, and they did, and that's working.
I think the next big curve is going to be the live
Live
streaming,
yeah.
multiple camera live streams. I think
Oh,
are going to
yeah.
be.
Yeah, I mean, we
probably-
could have a whole nother 20-minute talk about
Oh, yeah.
weddings,
Yeah.
like
and like even like one thing I could have a whole conversation on is like the just micro influencer, like like what we're doing right now. I'm exposing my following to you guys, and
Right,
vice versa,
yeah.
and how we do that remotely, and how we do that live, and things like
Yeah.
that. That's all. Yeah, you could have a whole nother conversation on that, and I think. One prediction would be that those live like people don't realize how easy it is to blow off a live video that they don't actually have to show up for. If they say they're going to show up to an open house or RSVP to an event like that, that's in person, they're less likely to blow it off than if it's a Zoom call or something like that. And I think that's a little bit counterintuitive. So I think there's going to be some different dynamics of, okay, how valuable are these lives? Do we want the lives to replace doing stuff in person or no? And I think that's kind of the next thing we're going to like have to wait and see.
yeah.
Yeah, if there's any software builders out there, an application where you could, it's like Zoom, except higher quality video would be perfect, where you can talk back to the person in the live. If there's some company that thinks up of like say I'm giving a presentation and it's on like a very full HD, 2 or 3 cameras, but then I can have Jane over here ask me a question from her seat with her webcam.
With your VR goggles on.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But like to take a live question and be like, and have everyone hear Jane's question and be able to answer it in real time. I think that's the final hurdle to making live streaming for businesses perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you might see that actually because I believe I'm not a tech guy, but it's a bandwidth issue. So you can't. Why can't you stream like 4K HD?
Exactly.
Maybe with the advent of 5G, that becomes realistic. So you can throw on, your goggles and go on a tour that's live, you know what I mean, or whatever it is.
Right.
So it could be coming with new tech, and just staying up to date with that stuff is going to be important.
Yeah, I think the moral of the story is this is forcing us to change, but it's going to be exciting, and we're going to be along for the ride with it.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. We're in the right business, boys.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're in
And-
the right business.
I mean,
definitely.
I know we're running out of time, but
wrap it up.
I'll save it for next time. I'll save it for next
Oh,
time.
what the hell was
Now I
that?
gotta come back. Do I have to come back now, or-
you have to
okay,
come
all
back
right, cool.
for
Part 3
because
with
it's like a whole
Namra.
nother. It'd be like a whole nother half
Coming
hour.
soon.
I could
convo,
go with you guys
so-
all day.
I
So
know.
I
Yeah.
Taylor, I appreciate you coming in, man. This was fun. We'll catch you on the third one.
Absolutely. Thank you guys. I really
You're always
appreciate it.
welcome,
Yeah.
and when if you need that podcast,
Yeah.
we can help you out
Cool.
with that.
Yeah,
we
we'll
got
get you
you.
started.
We got you
I'll-
covered.
We'll talk offline about that. Definitely.
Yeah.
Please. Yeah.
And anyone out there who needs help with social media, Taylor's your guy. He's got all the tips and tricks, all the knowledge.
You got it. Please don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks,
Yeah.
man. I appreciate it, boys.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening.
Real quick, where can they find you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Namra Consulting. You can reach out to me. I'll be reposting this stuff. And then
Yeah.
we actually just redid our website. So by the time this comes out, it should be up, hopefully.
yeah.
If it's
Nice.
not, sorry.
coming soon.
NamraConsulting.com. NAMRA Consulting.com. Okay.
Sweet.
Thanks, guys.
Guys, thanks for listening. As always, subscribe, leave us a rating if you like it, pass it along, and go to our Instagram, send us a message if you have any questions, and we'll catch you next time.